Hi, Mark W here, and today I'm going to be playing some Tunnels and Trolls. The adventure I have chosen to play is called Goblin Lake by Ken St. Andre. As I understand it, this used to be a mini solo, and it was written in the late 70s, I believe. And just recently, in 2016, Ken St. Andre and the gang revised it. Ken added to the content, and we have this fabulous new edition for Deluxe Tunnels and Trolls, which I've been really into lately. I've got the manual by my side here. I will surely need to refer to that at some point. And I've also got my customized personal character sheet. It's blank right now, so I'm going to have to roll up a character. And don't mind the little frilly thing over here. So this is my character sheet that I made that I've shared with the Facebook group for Tunnels and Trolls. If you would like one of your own, you can leave a comment and I'll send it to you, or you can just check the Tunnels and Trolls Facebook group. It's two-sided, so it has lots of space for all your equipment and spells, magic studies. That's for when you train in an individual school of magic. So it applies to wizards only. And also additional room for notes and story and languages, etc. Mostly I found the sheet that was included in the rule book was insufficient in the sense that it doesn't have enough room to write down everything about your weapons and armor and everything. So I decided to take a crack at making my own. Anyway, we'll put that aside for now. Also with me I have the fantastic GM screen, which has handy charts, which we're probably going to use while we're generating our character, and maybe we'll even use some of these charts during the game. And I've got two nice sets of dice from ChessX. These are, I don't remember the exact colors they call these, but I like to think of these as like vampire dice, or some kind of evil creature would roll these dice. So these are two sets of 12. You need a lot of dice in Tunnels and Trolls, so that's good. I just picked up these ones. I had the vampiric dice for a while, but I just got these nice blue ones. And I think I'm going to use the blue for my character and the vampiric dice for the enemies, the monsters that I'll encounter. So it's a little ironic because I'm actually going to be a monster, I suppose, in Goblin Lake, because you play the role of a goblin in this one, as I understand it. Why don't we take a peek inside? Deluxe Goblin Lake, written by Ken St. Andre. History of Goblins. Wonder what that's about. By Bill Kerr. Stephen S. Crompton, Flying Buffalo. Okay. So let's read the introduction. Introduction. Fish Squish Lake is located in a large cave not far from coast, and because many goblins dwell there, it is also known as Goblin Lake. If you already have a character of 3rd level or less, whether it is a goblin or a small humanoid, go directly to 14C, otherwise read on. You are a young goblin who has been adventuring in the wide world for the last 2 years. You have pointy ears, pointy teeth, and a slick, scaly green skin. Your body is hairless and smaller than a man's, with arms and legs that are slightly too long, a sunken chest, and a hard little pot belly. You are wearing a lizard skin loincloth and carrying a very big knife. A sack's worth 2d6 plus 5 in combat. All in all, you are superbly attired for a goblin. First, you will need to know your 8 attributes. For each of them, roll 3 6-sided dice. As always, triples add and roll over, also known as tarot. You can also roll 3d6 to find your height and weight by rolling on the size and weight chart in the TNT rules. As a goblin, though, your attributes are slightly different from the human norm. Multiply the results by 3/4 for strength, constitution, size, and weight. You may round up. For dexterity, multiply the total by 1.5, and for charisma, divide the total by 2. Goblins are not very charismatic. Do not bother to roll for gold. You don't have any. Okay, so I guess we're just going to assume that I have my very big knife, the sax, and the loincloth, and I won't bother to roll for gold or purchase any other equipment. On the other hand, your character does have at least one talent, one per level. Suggested talents for goblins include swimming, climbing, robbery, fishing, boating, and bartering. I'm assuming that some of these will be useful during the adventure. All of them are based on dex except the last one, which should be based on int or charisma. Your possessions include the sax, a worn pair of leather sandals, a ragged net suitable for trapping small frogs and minnows, or for carrying junk in, a leather pouch containing flint and steel, and an unused torch that can double as a cudgel, worth 1d6 plus 1 in combat, fish hooks, and 10 feet of thin fishing line. When you have completed your character, you can make it a march warrior, a citizen fisher, whatever you want. Your character can also be a rogue, a wizard, or a specialist, but be warned, the cavern of Fish Squish Lake is known to make the use of minor spells impossible. What about major spells? Then try to pick a suitable name, something squeaky like Weirk or Froggeat, and make up a background story for your new goblin. When you are ready for adventure, go to 14C. Alright, so let's roll up the character. Let's give him a name. Something like Weirk or Froggeat. His name is going to be Squeum. Kin Goblin. Type. I guess we might as well go with warrior, since you can't use magic in this particular adventure. Level, that will be determined by the attributes we roll. If we have any attribute in the 20s, he's level 2. If any attribute is in the 30s, he'll be level 3, etc. Age. How old can a goblin be? Do they age like humans? I don't know. I'm going to say he is a spry 18-year-old goblin. Maybe they age faster for all I know. Height and weight. What did it say? 3/4? 3/4 for height and weight. Alright, so the height and weight chart is not on the screen, unfortunately. Is it? No. So, oh yeah, here's a handy little note I wrote on my character sheet. The height and weight chart is on page 25. So it should be relatively easy to look up quickly. And here's the height and weight chart. It's a little difficult to manage the camera and hold the book open while rolling dice. So please excuse me if it's not the best camera work. Alright, for height and weight we rolled... Where did all the dice go? We rolled a 14. So he's 6'2", and somewhere between 190 and 230 pounds. Alright, so now we have to multiply that by 3/4. So 6'2" is how many inches? That would be 74 inches. Too bad I'm bad at math. Okay, so we are 72 inches, which 3/4 of that is actually 54 inches, which turns out to be 4'6". So let's write that down. And the weight of, we'll say we're 190 times 3/4. which is what? That's about 143. Okay, that works. Next, we will roll up the attributes. So goblins are going to be weaker than normal, have less constitution than normal, more dexterity, less charisma. Let me look up this. Let me look up what we just read again. So 3/4 for strength and con. Okay, let's roll them. Strength. Fairly strong for a goblin. 14. And we're back. Sorry about that little service interruption. Had to go do some stuff. Anyway, where we were last, I was rolling my attributes. I had to roll a 14 for strength. And that translates into 3/4 of that for a goblin. And by the way, I have my son here who goes by the name of Rob Bob. Here are his hands.
Hi.
So 14.
Well, I don't go by the name of Rob Bob. My YouTube channel goes by the name of Rob Bob.
Okay, your YouTube channel goes by the name. So you have strength 11. Constitution.
Are you going to use this to make a map?
If I need a map. I don't know if I need a map for this adventure. You have some pretty average constitution. You got rolled a 10. And 3/4 of that is going to be what? Can you do the math, Rob Bob?
That'd be like, was it rounded up or down?
We're going to round it up.
So 4?
No.
3?
Let me just do it instead of you guessing. Do you know what 30 divided by 4 is?
Oh, hold on. What number did you roll? 10?
Roll a 10. So if you multiply it by 3, you get 30.
I thought you meant divide it by 3. So multiple 30.
All right, now we divide that by 4.
Oh.
So 7 times 4 is 28. 8 times 4 is 32. Instead of rounding up, it's going to be 8.
Okay.
Dexterity we multiply by 1.5. We roll a 9. And you don't round up, you actually round down for the higher multipliers because you always go towards the median. So we only add 4 to that roll. So we have 13 dexterity. Speed is times 1. 9. This is not the best character, but maybe it will be good enough anyway. And there's still several more attributes to roll. Maybe we'll get some good rolls in. I got a 9 for luck. What else do we multiply by?
Okay. Is he naked?
Is he naked?
His clothes. What kind of?
And he has a loincloth on. You start with a loincloth in this. Anyway, so I'm going to keep rolling. IQ is the same. Wisdom is the same. Charisma is halved. Charisma is halved, so we have 13 divided by 2 rounded up is 7. Alright, let's compute our adds. Adds are +1 for each point over 12 in strength, luck, dexterity, and speed. So we only have +1 because of the dexterity. So +1, that's not that great, but what are you going to do? Weight possible is 1100. We have no gold because that's what the adventurer stated earlier. We start with a sax.
Oh, what?
A sax is a kind of dagger.
I thought it was a saxophone.
Not a saxophone, no. And we can look up the rest of the information about a sax as needed. We have a torch that we could actually use as a weapon, it said. So I'll write it under weapon. Where was that? We also have leather sandals.
They don't look like they do on this picture.
A loincloth. A ragged net suitable for trapping small frogs and minnows, or for carrying junk in. Leather pouch containing flint and steel.
So just a bunch of basic stuff.
Yep. Flint and steel. The net. Okay. Anything else? Okay, the torch that can double as a cudgel. So we'll write that under weapons. Torch 1D plus 1. 10. Oh, also fish hooks and fishing line.
Mega fishing.
Yep, I think that's going to be happening in this. Fish hooks.
And it is called Goblin Lake. Right?
Yeah. Alright. Talents. It said on the previous page we can have some talents. By the way, what's my level? I think it's 1.
Yeah. You're only
Yeah.
20.
I'm not very strong. Okay. Level is 1.
School.
Squeal, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't have any armor. I guess the loincloth does not protect me. I could take swimming, climbing, robbery, fishing, boating. I think fishing is a common theme like we were just talking about.
I would do fishing.
Let's go with fishing. Alright, I think we're all set. Even though we're not keeping track of the weight of everything we're carrying, I think we're fine. So,
You can hold a lot more than I could.
begin at 14. Steve. Yes, you were a hobbit with 5 strength when you were playing. I have 11 strength, which is rather strong, relatively. For days you have been searching through the forest to where Goblin Lake is rumored to be. Now you think you have found it. The entrance to the underground domain is through a small cleft with a stream trickling out of the scrub-covered hillside. Your sense of smell is quite keen, and you detect other goblins at a distance. So you crawl in. It's tight going in at first, even for a little guy like yourself. Before long, the tunnel branches, but you stick with the stream. It gets so dark that you can't even see anything, even you can't see anything. But then the darkness begins to weaken, and a very dim light from the walls themselves enables you to make out your surroundings. Go to 23E. As you walk down the corridor, the walls disappear and you come out into a fairly huge grotto. In the darkness, you can hear the quiet lapping of water against stone, and you can make out the dim forms of reeds. Suddenly, a shrill voice squawks at you in Gobble, the language of the goblins. If you speak Gobble, go to 13. Do all goblins speak Gobble? I guess so. So I'm going to say I do speak Gobble. The voice says, "Halt! Who goes there? Only us goblins are allowed at Fish Squish Lake. If you are a goblin and would like to join your kindred, go to 20A. Yeah, let's do that. You quickly explain that you too are a goblin and give them your name. I say, "Hello, I'm Squeal." An old geezer goblin named Bean Deet recognizes you. and recount how you left this very lake to seek adventure several years ago. Then you were surrounded by friendly goblins who pound you on the back and urge you to come on down to the lake and get acquainted. There are too many to resist, and you want to see if the old home grotto has changed much, so you go along with them. Go to 3A. Welcome to Fish Squish Lake, says one of the goblins, who is bigger and nastier looking than the others. He has 3 distinctive fangs, 2 that come up from the bottom of his mouth at the corners, and a third that comes down from the top lip to the middle of his receding chin. I'm Snorkin, king of the lake goblins, he explains. Snorkin, huh? We can always use a few recruits. You look like a stalwart fellow. Want to join my band? All the fish you can eat and a life of ease. If you accept his offer, go to 11E. If you decide to return to the rest of the cavern, you take your leave and retrace your steps. Go to 6B. If you say something insulting and challenge him for the kingship, go to 24A. I think I'm too weak to do that. Alright, I'll accept his offer. Hopefully this isn't the end of the adventure right away.
One, it would be a pretty short video.
Yes, Rob Bob. You are now a member of Snorkin's band. Judging from the general air of poverty and lack of clothing, it is a ragtime band. They lead you around the lake and show you a narrow path hewn on a cliff face that leads to a maze of filthy warrens where they all hang out. After a few days, you begin to hear about Snorkin's fabulous treasure. All the other goblins are very proud of it. Go to 12A. Snorkin decides that he can trust you enough to show you his treasure. He invites you into his warren, and in the back beneath a pile of old fish bones in a turtle shell box is the fabled hoard. 1 gold piece, half a silver piece, 9 bent copper pieces with tooth marks in them, a broken mirror, an enchanted dagger worth 1d6 plus 1 that glows in the dark when you say glitter glim, and 3 back issues of the Goblin Gazette. If you feel yourself fired by greed, go to 5D, otherwise 9B. Fired by greed. That means if I'm very excited by the treasure, I guess.
I thought that meant that you'd take some of it.
It could mean that, actually. If I'm feeling very greedy and I want to try to take some. This is not much. This isn't very good treasure. But you know what? I'm going to try it anyway. Go to 5D.
I will have to fight someone.
We'll see. If I have to steal, I'm probably going to have to make a saving roll or something like that. There are 2 ways to get Snorkin's treasure away from him. Either defeat him in combat and become king, or swipe it when he isn't looking. If you wish to challenge him to a duel, go to 24A. If you want to try and swipe it, go to 9C. Let's swipe it. I'll steal those coins with teeth marks in them yet. You pick a time when Snorkin is out fishing on the raft and sneak into his cave. Throwing aside the fish bones, you grab the turtle shell box and race out along the path for the shore. The treasure box is too large to hide on your person, so you will have to dash past the guard post at a run. Make your 2nd level saving roll on dexterity.
I have 13 dexterity.
I have 13 dexterity, that's right. That means I need a 12 or higher. But if you have a talent for dodging or evasion, you may use that on the saving roll. I don't. I took fishing. So, alright, so I need a 12 or higher, which is not easy, but not impossible either.
1 in 12 chance it's going to happen.
No, there's doubles and roll over. Also,
yeah.
also, the odds of rolling 2 6s are actually 1 in 36. Anyway, I rolled doubles.
So that's 8.
8 plus 2 plus, so it's 10. I got it, but let's see what the total is.
Why?
Wow.
12. Why?
What is it? We're at 22?
I think so. 1 plus 7.
It's 29.
Wow, that's a lot.
Since the level 2 saving roll, I get double that in adventure points. So, it's 58.
Yeah, you did really good.
That was one of the best saving rolls I've ever made, I think. All right, if you make it, go to 23B.
You have 3 doubles in a row. If you're playing Monopoly, you will count to jail.
Good thing we're not playing Monopoly. Give yourself 100 adventure points for the theft.
100.
All right, let's take a 1 in front of that. 5. You have slipped past the guard and are now in the tunnel that first led you here. Go to 6B. On your way out, you follow the stream that guided you in. Before long, you squeeze back out through the cleft and are in the outside world once more. Take 100 adventure points for having visited Goblin Lake. Congratulations and good luck on your further adventures wherever you go. The end.
That was the whole thing?
That was the whole thing.
That's pretty short.
Yeah, this was originally a mini solo.
So,
And I think depending on the choices you make, it might be longer or shorter.
you got a shorter one of these, maybe?
Possibly.
I don't know.
All right, so I guess I took the treasure. I have to write down what I got.
A turtle shell box.
Yeah, I don't remember what page it's on. I'll find it though. All right, well, that's the video. Thanks for watching. I think the most exciting part was probably the awesome saving roll. And maybe I'll do another one of these sometime. Maybe even the same adventure, but I'll take a different path. But this is Mark Dubya signing out. And next to me is Rob Bob. Say goodbye, Rob Bob.
Bye.
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 All right, game on.